Hi, everybody. This is Eliz-sha Keating from wisdomseekers.net, emphasis on the .net. And we're here for water, which includes Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces for November 17th to the 20th, 2019. And shall we begin? And I don't think it really matters which one I pull out first. So we'll do this one. It says manifest. And that's something that we're in a time when it's really probably a good time to learn how to manifest. It's not that we need to manifest more. It's just the energy is there for us to start manifesting and start being manifestors on a positive, because we all manifest. Problem is, as a general rule, we manifest in the negatives rather than the positives. We manifest relationships that are not happy. We manifest problems in the home. Maybe the floor needs to be redone or something like that. Those are small things, but they're not always positive, because we don't necessarily manifest the money to go with it. So one of the things is, though, it's time to learn to manifest, and manifesting means we're powerful, and standing in our power. As a general rule, we've been trained not to stand in our power. We've been trained to give our power away to the government, or to the teacher, or to the minister, or somebody, or the boss, or something like that. And but we haven't. We have not been trained to manifest. We have not been trained to manifest for ourselves, to create a better world for us, to be happier, sorry about the dogs. They seem to think somebody's at the door, and there's nobody downstairs to grab them. Okay, I think it's quiet now. So people at the door just said, "Have a good day," and walked away. I guess the dogs won. But we give our power away to all the authority figures. But if we manifest properly, we don't have to have authority figures. We can be the authority in our own lives. And that doesn't mean that we don't honor the priest or the minister or the government. It just means that we create our life in such a way that everything we want is provided in a comfortable, genial way. All right, so it's a win-win situation, actually, more than somebody has to lose. The old belief is there's always somebody has to be a loser. So if I make money, somebody else doesn't get the money. Not true. That's an old belief, and it doesn't follow now. So let's go into this, and let's just start off. And all that wonderful rhetoric interrupted by barking dogs. How is that for life, hey? That's manifesting the way, exactly proving my point. I manifested the dogs barking, which was, well, not necessarily a negative, but a bit uncomfortable situation, where I could have manifested it that they might bark, but at another time. Something simple like that. Okay, the base card is the Hermit. I do believe yesterday one of the base cards was the Hermit too. And the Hermit is the way shower, is the one who's showing people how to go out and do things. And you don't have to be a teacher per se, though generally hermits are teachers. You just have to live the life, be the personification of what you're showing. What covers it is the Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords is balance, going forward in balance. It's also a card of extreme courage. You may not know how you're getting there, and that's perfectly all right. You just know where you're going. How is not necessarily as important in this scenario as the arrival point. because you're going to do it in balance, which is a how, and you're going to do it with courage. And the things that happen along the way are not necessarily important. And what brought us to this point is the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands it's the picture of a man protecting that which belongs to him. So in the past, probably you've protected an idea and something that belonged to you that was yours. And other people said, you're dumber than a post. And anybody who's on the spiritual path, at least the older generations, have had that happen. And I suspect the younger generations still do have that happen, because the spiritual path is not a mainstream path. It's not a mainstream belief. So we're told you're strange, you're crazy. And I've been called those things a few times. And it's kind of after a while, it's kind of funny. I just look at them and agree with them because, hey, what can you argue? Of course for that. So what brings us to what's happened just now is the Chariot, and the Chariot is similar to this Two of Swords. It's a card and it's a major arcana, so the second major arcana. It's a card of staying in balance. It's of if you don't stay in balance, it's not that big a deal. It's that you bring yourself back into alignment, and you pull out all the tricks you need to if you have to. The best one, the absolute best one, is the quiet mind. And if you have the quiet mind, you basically stay in balance. It's when your mind starts talking that you get out of balance. The chitter chatter that, well, she was mean to me. I should have said this. Why didn't I feel this way? All those questions. With you in the quiet mind, you don't have those questions. So you don't have the emotional reaction. So you don't fall out of balance. But the important part of this card and this week is that if you do fall out of balance, you allow yourself to come back in. So the big thing this week, what's happening next, is the King of Swords. And the King of Swords is all about creating or choosing to make a change. And that would be about manifesting. If you choose to manifest, you choose to make a change. And that is the point, though, is this is a choice card. It's not a forced upon you card. It's not your subconscious. It's you choosing to do this. You thought it out. And what will it gain for you? And the Six of Pentacles. That's another card that's been prevalent this week. It's a card of pulling yourself together, the pieces of yourself that have been the fear that was over here, the fear that was over there, or from 3 lifetimes back. It's all being pulled together so you create a whole. And you notice this card it's the Six of Pentacles. You notice this card is also a manifesting card or abundance card. So pulling yourself into alignment does create the abundance that you are looking for. And the last 3 cards, the support cards for this week, are really good. This Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is a card of reaping the rewards for having put in the effort. So basically, even though you're making a decision to move forward this week, it appears that it's going to be a relatively easy decision to go forward with and make, because the next card is 3 of Pentacles, which is receiving the accolades for all the effort you put in. Basically the same cards, both manifesting cards, both Pentacles. And the last card is the most important card. It's the 10 of Cups. And the 10 of Cups is a card of mature joys and happiness. So you've taken a step forward into a maturity. It's not a leveling up week, which is good because leveling up is really chaotic. But it is a time of making a choice, which will move you to the next stage. It's just not yet the next stage. And so manifesting, working on manifesting, that is the key to this week, I suspect. And while you're doing it, you get to teach. And you get to teach by showing who you are, by being who you are. And I have watched that. I've watched that come out a few times in this last week. People are in circumstances, and they teach the people by being who they are. And it's quite powerful. They may feel at some points that they are actually lost, but in the long run, they will feel that they actually won this round. Because, and again, this is there is no, we don't want to be in the situation where there's a winner and a loser. But they're teaching people who are still in the old paradigm. And the old paradigm does have winners and losers. So ultimately, there will be, in the few situations I'm thinking of, somebody who has to learn the lesson, and the ones I'm talking about, because there's a few situations. They're also learning that they're powerful, but it doesn't mean powerful always has to be the one that gets the immediate prize. It's the one that wins on the long run. All right, so questions. And my daughter's back. So hi, everybody.
The Polynesian Princess says, woohoo! Hi, Elisha and Elle. Hello. Tracy T says hello. Lily Dulo asks, hi, ladies. How do you feel? Maria Herrera says hello. Mellow Yellow says, puppy, smiley face, LOL. Malapale says, hi, Elisha and Elle. Blossom 11 asks, hello there. Oh, hello, Cancer here.
Ah, yeah.
I would like to know, how does Mitt feel about me?
Mitt. What I'm picking up is Mitt says, I like her well enough, but there's also not a hesitation. It's he's still thinking. He still hasn't made up his mind. It's still in the air a little bit. But obviously the energy is moving towards more positive rather than negative feelings. And there's not negative feelings. But in this case, he's more interested than not interested. But again, he hasn't made up his mind completely yet, and will not. And that could change in 15 minutes. But at this point, he has not made up his mind and will not make a move until he thinks things through, which is pretty, I have to say that's a really positive thing to do. Thinking things through, it doesn't happen enough. Okay.
Malapale asks, what did Gemini feel about our date yesterday? How? Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I figured that's what it was. Because the first thing they came out, he came out singing that song, I could have danced all night. I don't know the rest of the song, but it's a guy that was on a date, and he was just very, very happy and on top of the world. So I assume you also had a little bit of a discussion, and that discussion made him feel more confident rather than less confident. So he appears pretty dang happy right at the moment. And I'm assuming he's probably sleeping too, but he's dreaming good dreams. All right.
AP asks, hi there, is Mika the man I will marry? Thank you.
I think you need to get to know this man just a little bit more. I'm not sure how well you know him, but I mean, know him in a way that where you get to see the truth of him. He doesn't feel like a bad person. I just feel that you don't know him well enough to want to know whether you want to marry him or not. Attraction, pheromones, they don't count. You want to be able to look at this man and say, yes, I can live with this for the rest of my life. And as I said, I don't see anything wrong with him, but doesn't mean that the two of you are meant to be together. And I'm not saying you're not meant to be together. I'm saying get to know him before you ask a little bit better, just a bit more. Okay.
Joe Fermino asks, hello, darling. Any messages from my guides?
I think they're patting you on the back in a positive way, saying that your courage to move forward, in life is quite. They're quite pleased with what you're doing. That you took sort of looked like you took the bull by the horns and took control of what was happening in your life, and they're very proud of you at this moment, and they expect that you will keep on doing this and moving forward in a very positive manner. One of them says, do take time to think things over before you make certain big moves. All right. And that's about it.
Puzzle of Life asks, what is this unfinished business that's occurring with Mark and I in a positive manner in love? Thanks.
I think it's karmic, but it's like 30% of the relationship. It's not something that should derail it. If you look at it and deal with it in a very, very a very proactive way. I don't know if Mark is into this area or not, but if you are, then you can spend some time meditating, considering, keeping your mind quiet, and finding out what it is, and how to alleviate or shift that energy. I think it's something that's very simple, and if it's karmic, whether it's good or bad, you do want to shift it. You do want to move from one. You want to bring it into the now. You don't want it from the past or future energies. So it's a tiny thing, and once you understand it, you go aha, and that basically it feels like it will dissipate any energies at that point. Okay.
Someone's asking what stone you're wearing. They're asking if it's a tiger's eye.
Oh, no.
I believe it's a
Paleo Santos. This is Paleo Santos. It's a piece of wood. Paleo Santos is one of the spiritual woods, one of the special woods, and it's in a resin. This actually has been made specifically as an energy of protection against energy that negative energy that comes your way. I'm only wearing it because I just grabbed something. I'm not protecting myself. I have made this for other people, not this particular one, obviously, because I've got it, but
that style of.
But it's a little bit big, but I wanted to wear it to see if it actually was comfortable. And it's not horrible. It's not that heavy. But Paleo Santos, it was one of the woods. It's one that
isn't it like a sage?
You can use it as sage. You can use it to keep negative entities away. You can use it to get rid of bed bugs. Not that I have bed bugs. Honest, I just have Paleo Santos. It's one of the spiritual woods. It's one of like cedar, Oh, there's a whole bunch of them. And I don't know them offhand. I just know cedar because it's one of my favorite woods. And so Paleo Santos, that's what it is. It's not a stone.
Moonflower says, I like it.
Thank you. We have fun. Elle and I make these things for people. And we have a blast making them. Well, I don't think that's exactly the right word, but we enjoy ourselves. I can't get it on. We enjoy ourselves a lot while we do it. And they've gone out to a few people who have situations that need help. So, for instance, this one does exactly the same thing, but it sits as a decoration on a desk. This one too, and this part is in the dark. It glows when you put it up to the light. Anyhow, we have a blast. We enjoy doing it. And this one here, I made that one. The lady didn't like it, and I don't blame her because it has Mickey Mouse ears. but other people, somebody else will like it.
Tracy T says pretty.
Yeah, thank you. We do. We enjoy ourselves a lot making them. I make everything I do. I work with energy, right? Nothing comes out of my house that isn't full of energy and is meant to be used in energy. So even this little thing here, this little ring, which is like size 5. I'm not a size 5, obviously. But yeah, I enjoy this is my latest passion. I love talking about them. I am in the process of making this for a young man. Well, I didn't make the stone, but I'm going to make this up for a young man who is easily distracted and becomes unbalanced easily. So we make things like that for people with kids who are autistic. I have an autistic child or ADHD grandchild. Yeah, I'm not sure. My kids are autistic on the spectrum, honestly.
We're dyslexic.
Well,
we're on the spectrum.
Yeah, and if I had this stuff when my kids were growing up, it would have been a lot easier.
Might have been.
It might have been. But back then, things are different now. A lot different. There's a lot more help out there. But there's also help on a spiritual level as well that wasn't there when my kids were growing up. And my kids, they came into this world a little ahead of the curve. So they're all a little bit offbeat, just like the rest of us, right? And I'm sure most of you can relate to being a little bit offbeat. So we are working on things to help create that balance in life. Okay, anyhow, I enjoyed my little spiel.
The Polynesian princess says, shoot, I might need that for Cam. Haha.
For Cam? That's true. I don't think I'd give him a heart, but we do have keychains for men. And somebody said, not this one particularly, that if we made bracelets that were dark, that the men would probably wear it. So, yeah.
Well, again, going off on a tangent, the DM for Critical Role, Matthew Mercer, he wears, his bracelets are leather, but he does wear a lot of bracelets.
Maybe we should get leather, eh?
Yeah, it would be nice to work with.
Yeah.
Anyhow, let's go back to the questions. Polynesian Princess asks, Eliz-sha, I've been talking to this new guy named Berkeley. Do you see this going somewhere? I wanted to call him Barkley, but that's not the right name.
That's a cartoon dog. At least it used to be a cartoon dog many moons ago. Now you've got me calling him Barkley.
Sorry.
What's his name?
Berkeley.
Berkeley. Tentatively, he thinks it's going someplace. That's what he told me. This is fairly new, I would assume, and you haven't reached the 3-month level. And the 3-month level is when you get to know the real person behind the energy. So please wait a little longer before you fall in love, but go with the understanding that it looks like it is going somewhere. All right.
Maria Herrera asks, "Hi, any guidance from my guides about if Alex should be homeschooled or go back to regular school? Thank you both."
No, I did homeschooling, and my kids went to regular school. I'm not a proponent of regular school, so I'm probably a little biased. But if he can take some of the courses at school, like phys ed or art, or something like that, and do the rest homeschooling, because I know he's extremely intelligent. I also know he's extremely empathic and picks up on other people's crap, and owns it, and doesn't know how to it hasn't yet learned how to deal with it. He would have to be in clubs and things like that. And I do know that homeschooled children have groups for homeschooling. So he would have some measure of dealing with the outside world. I have noticed that homeschooled kids are kind of naive as a general rule, but they're if they're done right, the education should be much better than the school system. If you choose the right system, he's smart. He's probably very good at getting you to see his point of view, and you're going to have to be very tough and say no occasionally, if that makes sense. But I think this is a decision that, and he's, like I said, he's a really smart young man. I believe this might be a decision that you should talk over with him, and see what he wants. He's always going to, until he's a little older, he's going to have problems with his peers, because his peers do not understand who he is, do not understand what he is. If he could go to a school for gifted children, and that would be great. Unfortunately, his gifts are spiritual, not musical or whatever. So I don't think there is a school for that yet, and I don't think Xavier School is open yet.
What about a school like Storefront? It's a school that I went to and graduated from.
I don't know if they have that down in the States.
They might.
Look around and see if there's a school, because my daughter was bullied so badly she had to leave school, and she went to a place called Storefront, which was run by the school system, but she did her education on computers at her own pace. And sometimes her pace was a little slower than I would like, but she went through it and did it on her own pace, and she got decent grades and everything. Could you look into seeing if there's alternative schools?
Kind of like a Montessori.
It's a bit like a Montessori, but unfortunately, it was actually a lot of the kids who were empathic, who did not fit into the system, but they acted out and became problematic children rather than being dealt with on the level that they should have been dealt with.
They also catered to adults who dropped out of school at early ages for reasons and came back to get their grade 12, to get their
Both my daughters graduated.
Furthering.
Both my younger daughters graduated from that school, actually, and they're more interested in getting the kids through than getting them academic levels. But you can also put your 2 cents in there and ask that he have academics over other things. I like the school. They had not a therapist per se, but somebody who kept a really close eye on their emotional well-being.
She was a counselor.
Yeah, counselor. So that might be another alternative too. I just know that when Alex is a little older, he won't be thought of as that weird kid because he is so emotionally in tune with everything. The fact is, the kid is a medium, and that is not going to change. And being a medium puts you in a different category in life. All right. Anyhow, good luck with this.
Lily Dulo asks, can I ask for insight on money recovery?
Money recovery. That's a good way of putting it. I would love to tell you that you're going to get everything back. I think you might get money, pennies on the dollar, so to speak. I don't know how many pennies on the dollar. It might be 50 cents. It might be more. But I don't think you're going to get the whole thing back. Hopefully you will get back your investment and a little bit more, I believe. So good luck on that.
Moonfeather asks, oh, hold on. Lightning Spark with a 100 with $1.99 super chat asks, how does Evelyn feel about me at this moment?
Evelyn,
yeah.
I think she's conflicted, not with you, but with her own reactions. It's like she really wants to go out and spend time with you and be with you. And then something closes her down and she doesn't understand. She doesn't even know what causes that energy. She doesn't know what makes her want to back off and not the right word for it, but mess around. The right word for it, I don't think I can actually use on to be honest. But she is aware of her inconsistencies, and she's quite confused by it herself, honestly. So just sit in there and be okay with what's happening, because I feel that she's going to come around. And it might be that she's got friends that are messing with her head just a bit. So, and friends can do that. They're not necessarily the wisest people in the world. Sometimes they just don't want their friends to be in relationships because they're not, or they're a little bit they're just a bit off. I do think she's going to come around. So just be patient for a little while. And then if it gets too much, then you just need to walk away. All right.
Moonfeather asks, "Hello, Elisha and Elle. I hope you are both well.
Thank you.
Just wondering if I will be able to finish my schooling online instead of in class. Please."
Oh. I think you're going to have a few people who will be very against it, and you're going to have to present really good arguments. The fact is you're capable of doing it online, and they have the schooling that's capable for you to do it online. The problem is the people don't want that. They don't want that. It doesn't mean that they're right. It just means they don't want that. Okay? And if you can present your case and just don't do it with emotions. Emotions are not going to get you anywhere. You present it in such a way that you have all the logic on your side, and you've obviously thought it through. And that means you're going to have to question every thought you have. Okay? Because you're capable of doing it. It's whether people are going to be happy with the fact that you're doing it. So good luck on that.
Maria Munoz asks, "Does Josefina dislike me? You can tell me the truth about how she truly feels about me. I won't hold anything against you or her."
Okay. Honestly, what she says to me is she doesn't dislike you. She just so emotionally, I think the word unfortunately is broken, that she doesn't know how to deal with how to deal with people who actually care for her. I don't think this is going to change in any way quickly. If you think of her as a love interest, move on. In the future, she may be around, and it might be simply that you can be of assistance to her to help her grow. But her own fears prohibit her from moving forward. And there's a few things I think that happened in her life that she hasn't dealt with. And I'm not going to go into them right now because they're painful and they're personal. I suspect you may even know what one of them is, so, or what it is. So just realize until she deals with that stuff, she can't go forward. All right. And don't wait for her, but in the future you may be called upon to help her.
Next.
Yeah.
Deborah Love asks, "My husband is having problems with his car. And we're in the process of moving. Should he go 4 hours to our old place to grab stuff, or should he go to a mechanic first?"
Mechanic. That one didn't even get to the let me check stage. I'm really sorry about that, but yeah, mechanic first.
I mean, even if it's nothing, it's probably better to double check.
Well, I think it is something.
Oh, I'm sure it probably is something, but it's still, I mean, if it's any vehicle that you might need for work or to live, it's probably better to get it looked at first instead of waiting until later when it gets too far gone and
Well, I think
Can't
that I
use it.
think this is probably a safety matter.
Probably.
Yeah.
Malapala says, yes, we did, Eliz-sha. Haha, yes, sleeping now. Thank you so much, Eliz-sha. Thanks, Elle. You're welcome. Kim Z asks, I spoke with a guy named E last night. I would like to know E. The letter E.
Okay.
I would like to know if he just wants to hit it and quit it.
I like that. That's a cool.
With me, sleep with me, and then never talk to me or have anything to do with me after.
Well, let's ask. I think he would like to actually get to know you a bit before he makes that decision, which is kind of cool because some guys just want to, like you say, hit it and quit it. But I think in this case, he was a little more intrigued with you than that, and he's very. Before he makes a decision about where the relationship should go, he wants to get to know you a little bit. So if you haven't done more than visit, don't do it. Not yet, because relationships shift and change really drastically after having an intimate relationship. Get to know him differently first, and if he runs away, then he's not worth it, of course. But if he sticks around and talks to you, get to know him a little bit, and then ask me again. And all right.
Ed Torres asks, hi, I was wondering, will I get any work? I am self-employed. So will my business get off the ground?
Yeah. And I immediately got yes, that there's work coming. You have to get out there and tell everybody who you are. So I'm in the same boat as you. My business is 1.5 years old. It takes basically 3 years to get known and things like that. So I'm still getting out there, and people are getting to know me and things like that. I'm hoping that because I do things like this, I will be the first thought when people say I need to get a reading, or at least wisdom seekers will be the first thought. So get out there and advertise. Let people know who you are. And it's very important that people get to know who you are. But the answer is yes. Things will get off the ground, and I haven't got anything more at the moment.
Okay.
It would be. I would like to know what your self-employment is, but that's just
out of curiosity.
Well, it's not just curiosity. It would probably help me.
Yeah, makes sense. AP says that resonates. I resonate with that. Thank you. Moon Feather, I already read that question. Princess Nee asks, hi there. Yesterday you described my future husband. Does he currently live in a different country? Because it sounded like he did.
Either he lives in a different country, or he's a foreigner in your country. I'm not getting that he actually lives somewhere else, because I'm getting he's not that far away unless you're close to a border of some kind. So nowadays there's people all over the world who who travel and they go for different places for work and things like that. Okay. I don't get that he's I don't get that he's in a foreign country.
Yeah, and I mean, reading the energy makes it hard to describe, and because you don't get into too many specifics.
Well, not just that. I see in black and white too,
Yeah.
right? I don't see colors, so I can't really tell what color skin a person is or what color hair it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes it a little bit.
But we should say we always usually do, we don't do precise, we don't do when or where or names
No.
of potential partners, because it narrows down your field of vision to other potentials that might pop into your life.
And really, the future is not written in stone. And if anybody tells you the future is written in stone, they're wrong, because we have free will and we do have the right to choose. And I think in this case, he doesn't feel like he could be a foreigner, but he doesn't feel like he's far away.
All right. Naya Figueroa.
Now you got me doing
Naya. I will stick with Naya. Hello, may I ask what you see? What do you see in my Uncle Don's health? We have him checked by doctors, but we still need more opinion. Thank you so much.
Uncle Don's health. And obviously the doctors are not giving you an answer. And that's not necessarily their fault, because I have a feeling this is more of a spiritual problem rather than a physical problem. And it might be, let me look. His energy is really sapped. But I do think this is probably caused by, might be some unresolved issues. I don't even think they're from this lifetime. If you give me permission to clear him, I can do that, and that will help. And it might make it easier to find out what's happening. But I do actually need permission. All right.
Tracy T asks, is the job I'm in right now for me, or should I find a different one?
Actually, look, if you can start looking for a job while you have a job, it would probably be a really good idea. I do feel this job, I don't feel the energy around you to be conducive to you in liking the job or enjoying the job. And I think the energy is pulling your energy down. So if you can go out and look for a new job, just make sure it feels good this time. And you've got a job, so it should be easier to get a job. Good luck.
1234 asks, hi, will me and Jalen have a renewal in our connection?
Okay, this is what Jalen said. She's okay. At this moment, I'm busy doing other things. I don't know about the future. But it wasn't, no, I won't. And it wasn't, yes, I will. It was, yeah, she's okay. I'll think about it. But not right now. Okay. So honestly, if you're waiting on him, don't. Go out and look for somebody that's more amenable to you. And please do it soon, because he's not doing, he's got other fish he's frying at the moment. Okay.
The Polynesian Princess says, thank you, Eliz-sha. Rocks999 says hello and asks, what are Elle's thoughts about me recently?
Oh, not my daughter.
No.
I'm sorry. I got her confused me for a second.
The letter L
Okay.
for Lance.
Or Leonard.
Or Leo.
Or Lauren.
Or Lauren.
Or a whole bunch of L names.
Yep.
Okay. What's well, it's like he's sitting there going, that girl, I'm assuming you're a girl. If I'm wrong, I apologize. Took my breath away. I'm totally shocked and unprepared for the, I'm not prepared for what just happened. At the same time, it does not hate it. Okay, so whatever's going on there, back off for a day or two, give them time to process, and then then drop in and say hi. How you drop in, from a computer or whatever, is up to you. But drop in and say hi, and how are you? Then vanish again. Give him time to think things through, and I think you'll find that it works better for you. Okay.
Maria Herrera says, thank you so much. He wants to be homeschooled. Yes, he is having trouble with his peers. I will look for a Montessori, but here is very expensive.
But there's other schools. What my daughter went to was part of the school system, but it was for kids that did not fit into the system. So look and see if you can find that.
Also, when we did homeschooling when I was in grade 3, 4.
Yeah, but you guys were awful.
No, we were, but we did a correspondence homeschooling.
Mm-hmm.
So that could also be an option for you, Maria, to do a correspondence or online courses. Still be able to work at your own pace, especially if he's a self-motivated boy.
Well, some of them they are very specific.
Yeah.
You have to get it done in a specific.
But if he does work better at self-education, because I certainly did, that is an option you could also look into.
Yeah, and until his peers grow up, it's not going to be easy.
Yeah. With a $5 super chat, Erin Lou asks, thanks, Eliz-sha and Elle. I played in a band with my coworker M, and I felt that the experiment somehow connected us. How does he feel about me?
He's really, how you are after an experience like that. He's really high and he's really happy, and he's sort of walking on cloud 9 at the moment. that won't, of course, last because that energy doesn't last. But I think he's really to you. I don't know. I don't know much about this guy, but he at the moment, and I might be jumping the gun a little bit. He thinks that you're the one, and that's what I heard him say. I think she's the one. So that means you have a lot in common, a lot of things going together for you. Things are really. I think things are really a potential to be really good. Having said that, I'm going to also advise you to reach out slowly. I mean, tentatively. Reach out as a friend and say whatever, and how much fun you had. Want to do it again, and we should practice a bit. Because I mean, everybody practice, right, when they're in the band, and see, but don't make any suggestions just yet. But be there, and be interesting, and show him pictures of your dogs, because that is a plus with him too, or at least he shows interest. To me, he's showing interest in them. That might simply because he's interested in you, and thus he's interested in your dogs. But it does appear to be a really big plus. I do think, but don't rush it. But I do think this is a really positive energy between the two of you. Do you pick up anything more? So yeah, go for it.
Queen Empress with another $5 super chat asks, hello, Eliz-sha and Elle. Will the lies and deceit of Byron, my now ex, be revealed to me soon? When the phone rings.
Can you answer?
Yeah. I don't know. She is busy on a reading right now. May I take a message?
I think he's actually going to tell you all the things he's done, and he's going to brag to you about how obnoxious he can be.
She should be free in the next half hour.
So yeah, no, and honestly, the energy I'm getting from him is a bit. He's kind of he's not very nice. He's not very nice. He's got a lot of vindictiveness there, and you're well rid of him. So if you don't mind, I'm going to suggest something that's probably very hard. Wash that man right out of your hair. Let him go. Forget about him. Doesn't matter what he did. It only matters how you come out of it. And it's more important you come out of it and not give a crap about him, because he honestly is a nasty little piece of work. And he will take a great deal of pleasure in hurting you or causing you to feel pain. So the faster you can forget about him and not care and just go, yeah, that's your problem, bud, the quicker you will heal and go forward and meet somebody that's worth meeting. And there are people who out there who are worth meeting. You know what? It takes a lot of stupid decisions to make a wise old woman. So this is just something that's helping you on your way to become a wise old woman. Hopefully not soon, but in the future. And Every single woman in the world knows this story pretty well, and every single woman in the world has dealt with being treated poorly. It seems to be part of our growing up. Just remember this: you made a decision based on the information you had at the time, and that was the correct decision to make at that time. You have more information, and you're remaking a decision. You are not at fault. You are not wrong. It is just a lesson. Go from there. It was just a lesson. And the more you hang on to what a twerp he was, the longer it'll take you to heal and find somebody who's not a twerp. And there is somebody out there who is not a twerp. Good luck. And twerp is not the right word for it, but that was polite.
Miriam Rashid asks, hello, I was wondering if Spirit has any messages about my health. I've been feeling sick.
So it's the energy coming into you. It's the energy coming into you from outside. It's hitting old blocks. If you can, when you sit still, and this is no way not for you to go to a doctor. Please go to a doctor. But if you can sit still and what emotion comes up and what memory comes up with that emotion, and if you can deal with those emotions, that pain, then the energy will move through those, and the not feeling well will start to evaporate, because it's the new energy hitting old energy, and the old energy is resistant. But again, please go see a doctor. I'm not anywhere qualified for that, but I do know this will make a huge difference. My feeling is it's down in the feminine parts of the body, which, considering the years of that we have got, the last 5,000 years, has been very male oriented. It's to be expected. Remember, in some of your lifetimes, you were a man and not just a woman. So when you get really angry at men, remember at some time you were being angry with yourself. So it's not worth blaming. Okay? And good luck with that. Also, watch the video with Elizabeth. It's really long because she likes to talk, but she's really interesting and she knows a lot of information. It will tell you how to cleanse your body and things like that with sea salt baths and lavender or rosemary or something like that will help you. So look into that. Okay.
Felicia asks, I've been waiting on a job to call me after an interview. What do you think? When do you think they'll contact me?
Felicia and the job?
Yeah.
So they're looking at your paper, your resume or whatever, and they're considering it seriously. There are a few others that they're also considering as well, and they're going back and forth between, I think there's about 3 of you. And they keep shuffling it through. So sometimes you're on top, sometimes you're second down. Rarely are you third down. So the chances are fairly high that between the top 2, you are in the top 2. And I think you've got like 65 or 75% chance of them calling you over the other people, because you do seem to have more of the qualities and qualifications that they're asking for. I think the other person may have an in simply because they know somebody, but you have your resume, your interview was the better interview. I can't give you a yes, they're going to call, because yes, they haven't made up their mind yet. And I think it will be soon. I think it's that it should be within the next, probably the next week. They will probably call.
Maria Munoz says, yes, I have heard a lot about her personal painful stuff.
So that's what that's her thing. It's not about you. It's just she doesn't know how to let go of it.
Hannah Erickson says hello from Sweden. Hello.
Hi.
Chris Engel asks, hi, I'm still wondering if my ex Scorpio divine masculine is getting close to contacting me. Thank you.
Not yet. He's not close to contacting you yet. He's got other fish to fry. Not necessarily other females particularly, or not. Not the other. Not. But he's got. Excuse me. There seems to be something that something he's quite intrigued with, paying attention to. Man thing, I don't quite see what it is, but maybe it's a bit of education or just something, but he's really interested in what he's doing right now, and he's not really has any extra thoughts for anybody else at the moment.
Princess Nee says, thank you. The reading yesterday just was really interesting to me. Tracy T says, thank you. It's so true. The energy isn't good.
Actually, you're wrong. It's really good. It's just really tough. It's just because it's new energies coming in and dashing and pushing the old energy out, and the old energy is fighting and resisting tooth and nail, and it's very painful, mostly because we go along with the old energy and resist it too. Okay.
Naya says, can you clear him? Thank you so much. We are so worried. Do we also need his permission as well?
You should have his permission, but because you love him, I think I can get away with it. And I will do that afterwards. So that's Uncle Bob? Don. Let me write his name down. I have a memory like a sieve, unfortunately. If you can message me and remind me, because I'd like to do it 1 week now and then next week, but I will never remember. So my name is Eliz-sha Keating on Messenger. So if you can please message me and remind me, that would be really, really nice.
1234 says thank you. Naya says thank you so much for giving me an insight. Yes, he looks depressed. Deborah Love, if you could come back with your next question later.
We have another one. So before 5:00.
Yeah.
Pacific
we'll do
time.
another of these interactives, and then we can answer your question then. It's just so everyone can have their questions answered.
Plus I have a limited amount of energy. I start to peter out after a while.
Yeah, and we're at an hour.
And I actually
So.
have 2 readings that came up.
Yeah. So
After
we're going to
that.
wrap this up. But yes, please come back and ask your question again. And I will read it as soon as I see it. Maria Herrera says, thank you for your help. Erin Lou says, that's a great idea. Thanks. Tay Tay asks, do my spirit guides have any important messages for me?
Do you like to sing? Because they just burst out into song. And I guess mostly they're trying to get you to feel more at home in your body. And so one of the ways to do that is with song or sound. I would recommend for you, and this is something like that. Get yourself some
A singing bowl.
A singing bowl, or a bunch of them. Like you can get those on Amazon. I think they're like $20. They were like $10. I don't know what they are now because I got them a while ago. But get some sound. Get some sound into your life. Sing and just sing. Make up songs, because I can never remember the lyrics. So I go along and singing these songs. My kids say, "That's not the lyrics, Mom." Yeah, I know. I don't care. Just sing and enjoy. That's basically what they're telling me. Just go out and make noise, and pleasing noise, of course, right? It's good luck.
Jennifer Schwab asks, hello, can I have a message from my grandma, Lorraine? Thank you.
Shh. The puppies want to go for a walk.
Guys.
So your grandmother is sitting there and she's chuckling, and she says you've always were a really intense child. I think that I think what she's trying to say is maybe she was intense when she was living on Earth, but she sees that life is meant to be lived, not to be worried about. So a little bit like mother, like daughter.
Or in this case, like mother, like grandchild, or grandmother, like grandchild.
No, Tete and her. Both.
Oh.
So maybe you and Tete should take lessons, learn how to get some singing bowls and start using them, and then maybe you can use these to help other people, because a lot of people use these things to break the old energy up, singing bowls. So I think you'd. She's okay. I think your grandmother Lorraine is. She's smiling. She's happy. She actually sends you a great deal of love, you and your daughters, and she would like you to, and you do enjoy life. You do enjoy life more than most people, but you're very serious about it. So life is not to be lived on the serious side. Life is to be lived joyfully. And you are, and I recognize you are very joyful, but also you're also very intense, and you want so very much to you want very much for this for to get things right and everything, and you've got it right. Just trust yourself a bit more. Okay.
Erin Liu says, also thank you for the advice and the girl talk. I do think it's important that he likes dogs.
Yeah.
Any potential partner, if you have a dog, they must love this dog too.
Yeah.
You come as a
package.
Yeah. And Queen Empress says, thank you, Eliz-sha. Starzy asks, hello, sweet one. Hope daughter is doing well. Will I find true love one day?
So the answer to that is always going to be the same. The more you love yourself, the more you're going to attract true love. And I see that you've done a great deal of work on loving yourself. I do feel that there is a bit more. There is a bit more that's coming, just a little bit more to get rid of or exchange the image. For instance, maybe self-image. Your own self-image of who you are doesn't actually fit what is there, and I think you need to look at yourself and realize you're much more than you think, and not much less than you think. Did that make sense?
I think so.
I don't want to say things that are going to hurt anybody's feelings, but look at yourself more positively, I guess, is the answer.
Felicia says, thank you. I really appreciate it. Chris Angle says, thank you. It's another woman. I was just hoping she thought of me sometimes.
Okay, I'm sorry if I got things
No,
confused.
I don't think you did.
Yeah.
I think you were okay. You might have said he, but
It's still the same energy.
Danielle Benitez asks, can you tell me about my newest love interest coming towards me?
I am starting to get tired. So it's not that close yet. It's still on the horizon. It's not, it's a bit away. But whoever's coming towards you is looking forward to being, subconsciously with you, consciously looking forward to being in love again. And likes the feeling of being in love. He feels like he's somebody who likes to dance. At least his feet move a lot, and it looks like they're moving in dance patterns. I think he might be a little airy-fairy. Pardon me, a little airy. Might be an air sign, or he might, but he's a bit space cadet, just a tiny bit. So he has a lot of joie de vivre. He's curious and interested in a whole bunch of different things. He's got a wicked sense of humor, and sometimes you will be kind of wanting to smack him because of his sense of humor. But he's always moving. He's never sitting still, and that might be a little bit exhausting. Other than that, I think that's all I get right at the moment. How many more are there?
2.
because I am hitting my wall.
Well, we can tell them to come back. It's nothing that can't wait.
Would you mind, because I doing this with different people every 2 minutes. It's
exhausting.
It's a little bit tiring.
Plus, you do have those readings too.
I do have those other readings that I need to deal with as well. And I will be back before 5 o'clock. I hope. If not, well, depending on how the readings go or what time they're scheduled. But I will, if we're not here today, we'll come back Sunday. But I will try really hard to get back today. But like I said, I'm hitting my wall, and what the information I get will be less valid from now on. Okay.
Yep, they say they understand.
Good. Thank you very
So-
much. I do appreciate that.
Wrap it up.
Okay, I am going to, because, well, we're just going to wrap it up then. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. Namaste. Namasko.
And we'll see you guys later.